You know that feeling when you wake up after a full night's sleep and somehow still feel like you could sleep another 4 hours? Or when you sit down to read the paper after lunch and suddenly your eyelids feel heavier than a bag of groceries? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many folks over 65 tell me, "I'm just tired all the time. What's wrong with me?" Well, today we're going to uncover exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how to fix it. Because here's the truth. Feeling exhausted isn't just part of getting older. It's often your body's way of sending you a message. And once you understand that message, you can start reclaiming your energy. Let's get started. The real reasons you're so tired. First, let's talk about what's really going on. Many doctors will tell seniors, "Of course you're tired. You're aging." But that's only part of the story. Yes, our bodies change after 65, but exhaustion isn't inevitable. Think about it. Do you know any 70-year-olds who are full of energy? Of course you do. So what's their secret? It's not magic. It's understanding the hidden energy stealers that most people ignore. One of the biggest culprits? Dehydration. As we age, our sense of thirst declines dramatically. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated, and dehydration causes fatigue, dizziness, and even brain fog. Here's a simple test. Check the color of your urine first thing in the morning. If it's darker than pale lemonade, you're not drinking enough. But here's the good news. Fixing this takes just minutes a day. Keep a glass of water by your bedside and sip it before you even get out of bed. Add slices of lemon or cucumber if plain water doesn't appeal to you. This one change alone can make a noticeable difference in your energy levels within days. The sleep myth that's draining your energy. Now let's talk about sleep, because this is where most people get it backwards. You might think, "I'm tired, so I need more sleep." But here's the surprising truth. Too much sleep can make you just as exhausted as too little. Studies show that seniors who sleep more than 9 hours a night often feel more fatigued than those who sleep 7 to 8 hours. Why? Because oversleeping disrupts your natural circadian rhythm and lowers your quality of sleep. If you're napping frequently or struggling to get out of bed in the morning, try this. Set a consistent wake-up time, even on weekends. Open your curtains first thing to let natural light reset your internal clock. And if you must nap, limit it to 20 minutes before 2 p.m. These small adjustments help regulate your sleep cycle so you wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy. The silent energy killer no one talks about. Here's something most doctors won't check unless you ask. Your vitamin B12 levels. After 60, our ability to absorb B12 from food plummets, and low B12 causes crushing fatigue, memory lapses, and even depression. The scary part, you could be eating plenty of B12-rich foods like eggs or fish, but your body might not be absorbing it. That's why I tell everyone over 65, ask your doctor for a simple blood test. If your levels are low, a supplement or even a monthly injection can work wonders. One of my viewers, Margaret, went from needing 2 naps a day to gardening every morning after fixing her B12 deficiency. That's the power of addressing the root cause. Now we've covered dehydration, sleep habits, and vitamin deficiencies. 3 major energy drainers you can start fixing today. But there's another huge factor that's often overlooked, and it has nothing to do with what you're doing wrong, and everything to do with what you could be doing right. It's about movement, but not the kind you might expect. You know what's interesting? When I suggest to people that moving more can actually give them more energy, I often get the same skeptical look, like I just told them the sky is green. "How can I exercise when I'm already exhausted?" they ask. But here's the beautiful paradox. The less you move, the more tired you'll feel. It's like a battery that needs to be used to stay charged. Now, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. In fact, some of the most effective movements for boosting energy are so gentle, you can do them sitting down. Take my friend George, for instance. At 72, he was convinced his fatigue was just old age. Then his doctor suggested he try chair yoga. That first session, he nearly fell asleep during the breathing exercises. But after just 2 weeks of 10-minute daily sessions, something remarkable happened. He found himself walking to the mailbox without needing to catch his breath. He started waking up before his alarm. The secret wasn't pushing harder, it was moving smarter. Simple stretches, deep breathing, and short walks activated his circulation in ways his afternoon naps never could. Here's why this works. When you move, even gently, you're not just working your muscles. You're stimulating your lymphatic system, your body's natural detox network that doesn't have a pump like your heart. You're increasing oxygen flow to your brain. You're telling your mitochondria, those little energy factories in your cells, hey, we're still in business. And the best part, you don't need special equipment or fancy classes. Try this right now. Sit tall in your chair and slowly raise your arms overhead as you inhale, then lower them as you exhale. Do that 5 times. Feel that? That's energy waking up. Now let's talk about another energy thief that often goes unnoticed, your gut. Did you know that about 90% of your body's serotonin, that feel-good, energizing hormone, is produced in your digestive tract? If your gut health is off, your energy levels will be too. As we age, our stomach acid decreases, making it harder to absorb nutrients from food. That's why you might be eating well, but still feeling drained. Simple fixes, like chewing your food thoroughly, adding probiotic foods like yogurt or sauerkraut, and staying hydrated can make a world of difference. One viewer told me that just by starting her day with warm lemon water and taking time to actually taste her meals, her afternoon crashes disappeared. Here's something fascinating I learned from a nutritionist. What we call fatigue after eating is often just blood sugar spikes and crashes in disguise. That post-lunch slump, it might not be normal aging at all. It could be your body struggling to process too many refined carbs. The solution isn't complicated. Pair your carbohydrates with protein or healthy fats. Instead of plain toast, try toast with almond butter. Swap that sugary cereal for oatmeal with walnuts. These small tweaks keep your energy steady throughout the day rather than riding that exhausting roller coaster. And let's not forget about stress, that silent energy vampire. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, which might give you a temporary boost but leaves you wiped out afterward. The good news? Simple stress reducers like deep breathing, try inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 6, or even petting a dog can lower those draining stress hormones. My neighbor Helen keeps a gratitude jar where she drops in notes about good moments throughout the day. She says reading them when she feels tired reminds her body that it's safe to relax, and somehow the energy follows. What's amazing is that none of these solutions require drastic changes. In fact, the smaller and simpler the step, the more likely it is to stick. Maybe today, you'll try the arm raises I mentioned. Tomorrow, you might swap one processed snack for some nuts. Next week, you could ask your doctor about that B12 test. Each tiny victory adds up until one day, you realize you've gone a whole afternoon without wanting to nap. And that, my friends, is how you reclaim your vitality after 65. You know, sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference. Like my friend Elaine, at 68, she was convinced her fatigue was just part of aging. Then she tried one simple experiment. For 1 week, she turned off all screens by 8 p.m. and read a book under warm lamplight instead. The result? She started falling asleep faster, sleeping more deeply, and waking up feeling actually refreshed for the first time in years. That blue light from TVs and phones tricks our brains into thinking it's daytime, disrupting our natural sleep rhythms. Elaine's solution cost nothing, required no special equipment, yet gave her more energy than any supplement ever had. Here's another energy booster hiding in plain sight: your breathing. Most of us breathe too shallowly, especially when we're tired, which actually makes the fatigue worse. Try this right now. Place one hand on your belly and breathe in slowly through your nose, letting your abdomen rise like a balloon. Then exhale fully through pursed lips, as if blowing out candles. Do this 5 times. Feel that? That's oxygen reaching cells that have been starved for air. Navy SEALs use this technique to stay alert during missions. If it works for them in extreme conditions, Imagine what it can do for your afternoon energy slump. Now let's talk about something we rarely connect to energy, our posture. When we slump, we literally compress our lungs, giving them less room to expand. That means less oxygen circulating, which translates to, you guessed it, more fatigue. The fix is surprisingly simple. Set a timer to remind yourself every hour to set your posture. Shoulders back and down, chin slightly tucked, imagining a string pulling you gently upward from the crown of your head. One viewer told me this single change helped her reduce her daily fatigue by nearly half, and she didn't even need to leave her chair to do it. Here's a surprising energy thief: your medications. Many common prescriptions for blood pressure, allergies, or even cholesterol can cause fatigue as a side effect. Now, I'm not suggesting you stop any medications. That's between you and your doctor. But I am suggesting you take your pill bottles to your next appointment and ask, could any of these be contributing to my tiredness? Sometimes a simple adjustment in timing, like taking a medication at night instead of morning, or switching to a different formulation, can make a world of difference. One of our subscribers discovered his afternoon crashes stopped completely when he moved his blood pressure medication from morning to bedtime. Same medication, just better timing. Finally, let's talk about the most powerful energy booster of all: purpose. Studies show that people with strong reasons to get up in the morning consistently report higher energy levels, regardless of age. This doesn't have to be some grand mission. It could be as simple as tending to your garden, volunteering at the library once a week, or teaching your grandchild how to bake your famous cookies. When we have things we're excited about, our bodies find ways to rise to the occasion. So ask yourself, what's one thing that would make getting out of bed tomorrow morning feel worthwhile? Then build your day around that. Remember, fatigue after 65 isn't your new normal. It's just your body's way of asking for some adjustments. Start small, be patient with yourself, and celebrate every little victory. Before you know it, you'll be looking back, wondering how you ever settled for feeling tired all the time. Here's to your energy, your vitality, and your joy in living every day to its fullest.